I have returned from a deep slumber to bring you grave tidings. Apologies for being out last week. I lost my voice. Nothing I could do about it. I was sick the previous weekend, and then I was mostly fine, but I just couldn't talk. So for the third time, thank you to Jack Posobiec and Seamus Coughlin for guest hosting Timcast IRL while I was out. But let's jump into the big story and wrap up on some news from last Friday. We have this story from Town Hall. Hide your kids. Pride members state their agenda. We're coming for your children. In fact, this is actually a report from Timcast News. Our reporter Elad Eliyahu was on the ground documenting a Pride event when he captured on video a bunch of people chanting that we're coming for your children. This sparked a major controversy. The video's gone massively viral, but there's a lot more here that I want to address, which is why I'm leading off with this story. Because last Friday, we were graced by the presence of Emma Vigeland of The Majority Report, a prominent leftist podcast, where she explicitly defended giving children pornography and teaching them how to use adult gay sex apps. I appreciate that they're willing to come on, people like Emma, and explain these things to us, because it's very difficult when you're talking to people who don't know about what's happening in politics to tell them something like this that they refuse to believe. You see, it appears that the movements being made by the modern left today have reached into the realm of absurdity to the point where regular people don't believe it when they hear it because it's too shocking. And that may be a tactic. In order to actually sway someone, you need to address their reasonable boundaries, something I talk about quite a bit. That is to say, if you went to someone and said, look, man, they're trying to do insert something reasonable. They're trying to raise taxes by like 0.3% in this area. They'll be like, well, yeah, I don't like that. Well, but if you go to them and say that a guy dressed up like a clown was doing backflips off of a building and then pulled a parachute and then chased down a bunch of, men with a knife, they'd be like, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard that never happened. But if something like that did happen, you'd need it on video. So we bring on Emma Vigeland and I ask her about all of these things. And it's remarkable. Not only did she outright defend the grooming of children explicitly. Well, I want to be fair. She didn't literally, I'm saying grooming. She didn't say grooming. I said giving books to kids to teach them how to engage in kink sexual behaviors like 10-year-olds and get them on adult sex apps. And she absolutely defended that. So she absolutely defended. She said it was a good book. We'll get into all that stuff. They're actually all in favor of that. And having these things on videos and showing that they do favor it, I think it's an important thing. So let me show you this video. And we'll talk a bit more about what's going on with these events. Now, there are some videos I can't show you. I literally can't show you. In fact, I don't even know if I can show you the video where they're saying we're coming for your children because the women are topless. That's right. It's an interesting question about what is allowed on YouTube. Because of this, I am going to enact a blur because I have to. I have to blur all images. I have this beautiful extension called Blur that blurs all videos, and then I can play for you the audio. The issue here is, and I hope you all understand this, what they are engaging in, the behaviors they are engaging in at these Pride events are, call them whatever you want, but they violate YouTube's policies. I would get banned if I show you what they're doing in public in front of children. But at least you can listen to it. So I'll blur images and we'll scroll down. This is from Town Hall, and it's actually referencing the tweet here is actually from Timcast News. A group of progressive New York City Pride members sparked outrage after revealing the left's radical agenda. They chanted, "We're here, we're queer, we're coming for your children." Let's pull up the actual tweet. The post-millennial, and it's not actually gonna blur it because if it doesn't, I can't. There we go. From Timcast News, and let's play the audio for you. Oh, sorry, my bad. I always do this. I always have the wrong channel pulled up. Let me get the correct audio pulled up for you guys. Here you go. We're not going shopping. Let's play it again. We're coming for your children. Ah, yes, that's what they're chanting. And a lot of people were pulling up that old video from the San Francisco Gay Men's Choir where they literally sang a song saying they're coming for your children, because they are. Now, look, what the left will try and do with things like this is say that, let me see if I can even pull this stuff up. I got to be careful here. I got to be careful. They'll say it's not grooming. It's not. We're just trying to teach kids to be accepting. And let me just break it down for you. Let me break it down for you guys. Okay. When you are fully nude at a sex parade and then say you're coming for people's children, that means only one thing. And so I try to explain this quite a bit. Grooming is intentionally introducing lighter ideas to a child or person so that you can move them in the direction of your ideology. And this is what I was talking about with reasonable boundaries just a moment ago. When you go to the average person and say they're grooming, the left responds with, it's a narrative game. When we say grooming, what do we mean? Well, I can't speak for everybody. I can tell you what I mean. The example I often give is modeling. Models exist. Children can model. There's lifestyle modeling. It's innocuous. It's fine. It's family friendly. So let's say your department store is selling a cute little summer outfit for 10-year-olds. And you've got a boy and a girl, and they're smiling and they're wearing jeans and T-shirts. That's normal modeling. That's totally acceptable. I do have greater concerns about kids in the entertainment industry and everything, but, modeling's fine. Then there's grooming, where they say, would you like to be a model? Bring someone in for modeling, usually like a young girl, and then slowly increase the work they're doing until they're doing overt, adult video. You know what I mean? You're not going to walk up to the average woman and be like, do adult content. They're going to be like, get out of here. So they groom them by saying, would you like to be a model? They come and they do regular modeling. They say, would you like to do another modeling job? They come in, they do more. Would you like to do another modeling job? This time it's a bathing suit thing. This time it's a skimpier bathing suit. This time, well, it's artistic, so you're going to have to be topless. That's grooming. So when we're talking about, hey, kids, there are people who have same-sex parents, not grooming. However, it can be grooming if you're intending to bring these ideas to someone and then you keep leveling them up, right? And that's the game. A lot of people have asked me, they're like, do you think that that gay marriage was the slippery slope that opened the door to all of this? Conservatives all say yes. I say no, absolutely not. Just because look, the argument was always in the privacy of your own home. It was like, do your thing, love who you love. You should have the same rights with the people you love and care about. Conservatives disagree on a lot of these things. That's fine. But my point is this. My view is that didn't change. You can still be in the privacy of your own home and love who you love. I got no issue with that. I have no issue with drag performances. In fact, I think, by all means, I offered to sponsor and put on the biggest drag show ever. 21 and up only, because we're going to be serving alcohol drinks not appropriate for kids. That's my point. When you want to talk about doing things for adults versus doing things to indoctrinate kids, that's the difference with grooming. So when they talk about doing drag and they say they want drag kids, we say, hold on there a minute. Drag is like adult. It's like gay burlesque. It's like men in overly sexualized outfits. There is a strong sexual connotation to what they're doing, their behaviors. And they say, no, it's not. It's totally normal. It's fine. If it ended there. But then what do we see? At these drag shows, it's not going to lick itself. They have kids handing tips to people like they do at a strip club. They have children on stage removing their clothing. That's grooming. So when they're dancing naked in the street saying they're coming for your children, that's grooming. Here we go. Ron Filipkowski on Twitter. You notice I got to blur these images, okay? You can only imagine. I have to blur them. YouTube would ban me if I showed you images from Pride. There was one instance a couple weeks ago where I did a video. Oh, look, I'm trending. I showed a video of two men engaging in an overt sex act in public at Pride. It was a kink display in BDSM gear where they were engaging in foreplay. And it wasn't so explicit that I was sure YouTube would take it down. So I said, okay, YouTube, will you take this down? It's in public. It's at Pride. It's in front of children. And they did not. These videos are gratuitous sex. I can't show it. I will add, though, for a lot of people, it is legal for women to be topless in New York City. It's illegal. It's legal in a lot of places under the 14th Amendment. Ron Filipkowski says, as I said when Pride Month began, the right uses this stuff to win elections and then pass laws and appoint judges to take away your rights. My response to this was, so the right shows people what it is you're doing and then wins elections? Yo, that ain't the dig you think it is. George Takai responds, even if there were no naked guys on bikes this year, they would find, picture, or generate them and push the same agenda anyway. There's no fixing this by calling for self-censoring. People riding around on bikes and other like tricycles, totally naked. There's one video I can't show. I mean, I may have shown it before, but I'm like, I'm not so confident. It is an obese old man in tighty whities walking up to children and twerking and gyrating in front of them as they clap and cheer. Yeah, they're coming for your kids, dude. They're coming for your kids. I got no issue with LGBTQ people. None. I have an issue with groomers. And the problem is many of these people are allowing groomers to come into their spaces. And this is why we're getting these issues. Look at this one. From Andy, no, I can't show it. I have to blur it. Children play in water around nude adults at the clothing optional Seattle Pride event. There are adult gay men fully naked walking up and talking to children and things like that. Now, you can argue that nudity is not inherently sexual. And I actually agree. I do not believe breasts are inherently sexual. I do believe genitals are obviously inherently sexual. But there are questions around there's interesting social dynamics around whether or not someone can be nude. People like guys will hang out in a locker room taking showers together, at sporting events, and we don't assume they're all having a sex party. We just assume they're taking showers. The problem here is that this is sexual. Why? Well, the event is overtly sexual. It is specifically centered around sexual orientation. So when you combine these things and then you introduce them to kids, now you are in the grooming space. A bunch of dudes in a shower or whatever, like everybody's gone to a gym and like there's like an old guy walking around naked. We don't say that he's engaging in sexual activity by doing is taking a shower. We might not like it, but you get the point. Which brings me to, let us talk about where we're at with they're coming for your kids. I'm going to now deblur, and I'm going to show you this tweet from the Post Millennial. It's actually a clip from the Culture War podcast. I recommend you check this one out at youtube.com/Timcast from last Friday. We had Emma Vigeland and Sean Fitzgerald, and we had a long debate and discussion around many political issues. Now, the first thing I want to address is that these people are so duplicitous. Apparently, there's a tweet going around. I just saw it. Emma comes on the show. Afterwards, she calls into the Majority Report with Sam Cedar, where she works, coasts, and claims she wasn't cool enough to see the skate park. And they're like, wow, that's and Sam is like, that's so weird. I guess you weren't cool enough. It's very weird. It's weird because you can't enter the property without seeing the skate park. In fact, there are technically 3 skate parks. When you first drive onto our property, you enter a parking lot with a 7-foot vert quarter pipe, with a 20-foot long 4-foot quarter pipe, 3 portable, movable 3-foot quarter pipes, 2 grind ledges, a rail. There's a big grind box right there, right in front of the house. So now so maybe when they drove onto the property, she did not look. She just like covered her eyes and hid or something. Everybody enters through the green room doors, and then there is another sub-level indoor skate park. But the idea that she didn't see the skate park, it's like you had to walk past it. It's the parking lot. But okay, fine. Maybe she didn't notice. Fair point. We offered her a sushi dinner because every Friday we do sushi for the staff and our guests to hang out with us, play a little low stakes, I shouldn't even say low stakes, like micro stakes poker, like poker just for fun, basically. And take a tour of the property. And she said, no, unfortunately, I do have to run. Have a nice day. I said, okay, thanks for coming anytime. It's remarkable to me these people do this. I literally said, would you like to enjoy sushi on me? Hang out. We'll show you around. Everyone's excited to hang out with you. And she said, no, I got to run. Have a nice day. Maybe she really did have to run. I got no beef. Why lie? It's mind blowing to me. She's like, I wasn't cool enough to get. We invited you. You could have just said, I didn't have enough time to stick around and see it, unfortunately, but they were hanging out, offered me sushi. It's insane to me how they lie about all this. But let me show you the clip. Are you in favor? You're the one arguing for...
You're the one arguing for censorship.
Yes.
I don't really mind that stuff. I mean, are you in favor of children seeing violence on television?
No.
That scares me a little bit more.
It depends. It's not so simple to say violence, right? But yes, censorship is a good thing, but when done bad is a bad thing.
Yeah.
For instance, Ian Crossland, who is a co-host on Timcast IRL, used to be a moderator for Minds.com, and he had to filter out graphic depictions of murder and rape and child abuse. Censorship is absolutely vital in that regard. So if we're talking about a book like, in particular, there was one called, there's a teacher who provided a book to her middle schoolers called This Book is Gay. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I have heard. That's actually a very good book.
That's actually a very good book, she says. Okay, I got Snopes pulled up to show you what this is all about. Provides instruction on she provided instruction to children on how to use adult gay anonymous sex apps. Yeah, I don't think that's appropriate. Now, look, by all means, you can be in favor of them.
Maybe she had a child. Maybe she had a child in her classroom
who wanted to go on Grindr and have sex with adults? Is that your argument?
No, I mean, I'm not saying that. First of all, I don't know. Again, this is
why would a 10-year-old need Grindr?
This is the thing that you do, though, Tim.
Oh, that
You're
I do.
picking specific examples that
you
are
asked
inflammatory.
You asked me for one.
Okay, then go ahead.
I did.
don't
we
know
have the book.
Yeah, I'm.
I said don't show children blowjobs.
Look,
you said you appreciate it.
I'm not in favor of censorship.
You know, it's really amazing. I'm not giving these people the benefit of the doubt at all. She kept saying, you're in favor of censorship. Yes, we are. We've explicitly been. We have always been. Okay? They play these dirty games. What we're not in favor of is political censorship, specifically on ideas of policy and lawmaking and culture, right? So if she wants to come out here and advocate for teaching children how to use adult gay sex apps, I believe she should come out and explain that's her position. I don't want to censor her when she says that. I want you all to see that's what they are fighting for. Now, when it comes to censoring things like graphic violent murders and child abuse, yeah, we've always been in favor of that. And I even gave her the example. But these people, look, you know, as sort of an aside, they don't watch this shows like mine. They don't pay attention to the world around them. They're just saying things for the sake of saying them. That's the reality. Now, I'm not going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I think that Emma Vigeland likely has some kind of weird predilection for children. I'm not saying outright pedophilia or anything like that. I'm saying there's something weird there, because it should not be hard for any leftist to let me tell you. Let me tell you. Let's say you're a leftist and you say something like smash capitalism. I say, okay. And then you say, we want to smash capitalism. We want to tax the rich. We want to dismantle the corporate state. We want worker ownership rights. We want communal property rights. I'll go, okay. I hear you. Now, what do you think about the book trying to teach kids how to have sex with adults? Then you go, that has nothing to do with universal health care. That has nothing to do with Medicare for all. It has nothing to do with taxing the rich. And obviously it's bad, right? You can be of the left, on the left, advocate for all these leftist positions, and then outright be like, yeah, we shouldn't be teaching kids about that stuff. What does that have to do with what I'm talking about? And I'd say, I agree. Maybe the left should call these things out. Why would Emma? There's two reasons. Emma would defend okay, I don't want to bury the evidence. Here you go. I want to make sure you guys know the facts. Snopes. Does a Tampa school library book teach about gay intercourse? True. They even go on to mention that it does, in fact, talk about Grindr and these other things. The ins and out of gay sex. They say it was in schools. Let me pull up the part where I love how they kind of bury this. They're like, it does mention Grindr. Yo, I don't even know if I want to say some of these things. Some of the things that are in this book that it explains how to do. I don't even want to say. It just talks about ingesting things from other people's orifices that weren't supposed to be there. How can I place this without being too overt, because it is disturbing? Inserting bodily fluids into an exit orifice and ingesting. I'll leave it at that. Like, there are things in this book children should not be told about. But they explicitly say it. They say that straight sex was presented as the norm to make 5% of the population feel abnormal. Listen, sex education is like, here's how humans reproduce. Sex education is not, here's how to feel real good. That's kink. That's totally different. And now we have this story. She offered a LGBTQ themed book to her middle schoolers. Parents filed a police report. Yeah, because the book teaches kids how to use adult anonymous gay sex apps. Okay? Children do not need to learn about that. I showed Emma Genderqueer, the book that depicts a graphic depictions of sex acts. And she said she had no problem with it. Okay. Then I only assume the Occam's razor. Emma wants children to be in positions to have sex with adults. I don't know what you would call that because I try to be fair and honest and really understand. And so many of us want to take the position that she doesn't really want to hook up with kids. She just is a tribalist who will say anything to defend the left. I just don't think we can do that because that's not the simple answer. If an adult woman, Emma Vigeland, advocates for teaching kids to use Grindr and showing them porn, I can't make any other assumption other than she wants to engage in sexual activity with children. What would you ask of me? Because we can try and stretch it and say, maybe she just doesn't know. But it's like, dude, I showed her the book. I opened it up and showed her. She goes, I don't care about that. And she said it was a good thing. There's no benefit of the doubt. She literally wants, I want you to understand what this is. This is Emma Vigeland saying she wants to take pornographic materials and instruction on kink and adult sex apps and bring them to kids and teach them about it. That is grooming, period, end of story. So when we're like, yo, they're groomers, we're not like Emma is a straight woman as far as I understand. I'm not talking about the LGBTQ community. I'm talking about these people who defend outright and explicitly giving children instruction on how to hook up with adults, how to engage in adult activity. Like that's a crime. So I'll tell you, when they're marching down the street chanting, "We're coming for your children," when people like Emma come on this show and say they advocate for this, I'm like, it's kind of obvious, right? They mean it. I wonder what the response will be. Maybe we should have a old Sam Cedar on the Culture War podcast to talk about it. Here's the issue. This is why, so we did the show on Friday. We talked about it on IRL. When I see this video going around where she lies about the skate park, I'm just like, it's the weirdest thing in the world to lie about. The weirdest thing. If y'all watch any of the Cast Castle stuff, you know that literally right in front of the house, like right when you walk out the door, the whole thing's a skate park. There's a 7-foot tall vert wall. Like it's a quarter pipe, but it transitions upwards and goes to vert. And it's 24 feet long. Then in front of the house, there's ledges. You grind on them, specifically with PVC, very obviously for skating. A rail, a quarter pipe. There's gigantic airbags everywhere. Why lie about that? I suppose I can say this. Emma's only pretending to want to groom children because of tribalism. And the reason it is a more simple answer is that she lied about the skate park thing. To be fair, because I try to truly understand, but I'm not giving her the benefit of the doubt. It's possible that she pulled in the parking lot and immediately walked into the green room and did not look to her right at the skate park. Fine, fair point. It's also possible that when she was leaving, when she walked out the door, she also did not look at the skate park. And it is. Maybe she didn't even notice all that stuff was there. But she was offered a tour, sushi, and a hangout because we do micro stakes poker. It's basically just poker for fun, where everybody gets like a set amount of chips and we just play. And we have sushi. And I was like, you're welcome to come hang out. There's music playing. Like on Fridays, everybody, it's like Friday is like our social company party day where it's like a team building thing, I guess. People get to hang out. We skate, maybe play some games, put on some music. She said no, and she left. Then she immediately calls up Sam and says, I wasn't cool enough for the tour. They just lie about everything. They're lying all the time. So I don't know, man. I can only tell you this. Take that clip where she defends it. Show it to your friends and family. Because whenever, we talked about this on Friday. people will say, like, I tried explaining to my family member and they don't believe me because it sounds too crazy. And I'm like, show them these stories, show them these videos, share this video. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.